Let's get started with Iftop. So Iftop is a network monitoring tool which allows you to check real-time traffic entering or leaving a specific interface. First of all, let us install the Iftop tool with the apt command. So we do that by apt install Iftop. In my case, I've already installed it. Okay, so Iftop is run by the root user. Right, so now the next step is to specify the interface. So we do Iftop -i, and in our case specify the interface ETH0. Right, so now we have Iftop running. Now we can see that these are the real-time traffic. Okay, so at the top of the screen you can see a bar graph. So this gives you an estimation of the amount of bandwidth you're using. Okay, so on the left hand side, this is our host, Kali. And on the right hand side here, these are our destination to which we are communicating from the right. For the right hand side, the first column here, so this gives us an average traffic for the last 2 seconds. This second column for the last 10 seconds, and the third for the last 40 seconds. So these are the average traffic for these intervals. And at the bottom of the screen, you have TX and RX. So TX is a transmit bit, RX is a receiving bit. Displays the amount of traffic we're transmitting and receiving. So, and then we have the total. So total is the sum of both transmit and receive bits. Okay, so now let us discover the options that we have with Iftop. So if we have Iftop running as such, we just need to press H to display us the options. So here the small letters here, it displays for the host display. Okay, so these are the information for the host display with the small, and it displays the DNS host resolution. You can just similarly press that to disable it. And likewise we have small letter S and for the source host and destination host, and capital letter S and D to display the source port or destination port. Alright, so now we go back to the real-time traffic, press H again. So now we have this traffic. Now imagine in a running production environment, we will have a lot of traffic. So system and network administrators will be having lots of problems if we just need to, go and search a specific network connection to check what are the issues. So it becomes very difficult for them with the traffic. But then with Iftop, we can use the filter command, which really facilitates the task of these administrators, whereby we can use the filter options to get the desired output for their troubleshooting purposes. Alright, so now what we'll do for this example, so our machine is acting as a file server. So we have a FTP client. So this FTP client is our Windows environment. So we will try to download a file. First of all, let us just come and enable this one. Alright. Okay, so now we are going to try to download a specific file from the file server. But prior to doing that, we need to just configure our filter to get a specific output. Alright, so we press Q to exit that interface, and then we type Iftop -F for the filter command, filter options. And then what we are going to do, so we are going to try to filter to get an output. That is, we want to see how much traffic we are transmitting the file server from the file server towards the FTP client. So IP, so the destination will be the FTP client, which is 94.100.25.1. Alright, so let's press this one, and then we go back here and we try to do this. Alright, so now we can see here below we have the transmit bit, which is a 141 meg. So the file is 141 meg. Similarly, we can press capital S to display the source port. So the source port is FTP and FTP data. So if you want to know the port number, we can press capital letter N. So 20 and 21. 20 for the data, 21 for the FTP port number. And similarly, we can press capital letter D for the source port. So here you can see the client uses the source port of a higher port 50,550 and similarly 50,545. So now since the traffic is since the traffic is already, the traffic does not exist because you have already transmitted, so it does not display anything, right? So this was a simple demonstration of some of the features of Iftop. The second tool, lsof. lsof by default lists file information about files opened by processors. So it opens different types of files such as regular file, a directory, a library file, and so forth. So now let us see in the first scenario how we are going to use lsof command. So in this first scenario, we would like to know which processors is listening on a specific port or using a specific protocol. So how do we use it? We type the command lsof -i column. Let's say we would like to know on the port 80. So what are the files which are listening on this specific port 80? So just waiting for it to come up. All right, great. So here you can see this is a command. So Apache 2, and we have, for the time being we only have Apache 2 who is using which is using the port 80, and this is a user. So who is using it? This is a root. And for this for the second one, you can see it's a www-data, and this one is a file descriptor, the type, so this is IPv4, and the device, and so this is the name, right? So with this particular information, we are able to know what are the applications which are listening on the specific port 80. A quick method to list the application or program listening on a specific port. We can also use netstat or nmap tool. However, we won't be getting information like the process ID. Now, in our second example, we can further use the previous command that we have used and to know which open files are being used by a specific protocol. For example, lsof tab -i is by the TCP protocol. So I'd like to know about that. So that's great. So we have MONIT and we have VS-FTPD. So these two are the TCP protocol. So now we have Apache 2 and Firefox as well. All right. So it does take some time. All right. Now we can further use the lsof command to know information about for example, the MONIT process. So we can do that lsof -p, and we type the MONIT, the PID of the MONIT application, which is 617, and so here you can see a list of files which are being used by that specific PID, which refers to the MONIT application. So for example, let us say we would like to know where is the access log being stored for MONIT. So we know we can just further use the previous command and pipe it with the grep command, and we type the var log, because we know somehow this is a place where probably we can get the MONIT log. So it gives us only one, and it specifies the required output that we were looking out for. So this is, we now know that this is a path where we can access the MONIT log. Alright, so now we are coming toward the third part of this video. So it is a comparison of the two tools based on the usability and functionality to the system admin. So first point, Iftop is designed mainly for network monitoring, while with lsof we can do pretty much anything. Secondly, Iftop is interactive and it is easy to learn. While on the other hand, lsof having many features can be very challenging to learn and it requires much practice. Thirdly, lsof can be used to handle various tasks with its numerous functionalities it offers, for example, to display information about the specific users, processors, file handlers, and to check traffic for a certain protocol. And another point is that lsof is still widely in use by system admins as compared to Iftop. Iftop has become less popular due to the other fancy web-based graph of network traffic, which I think are great for trending network data. Personally, I believe that Iftop is similar to Top when there's a problem you can instantly get real-time data about the system that updates as the situation progresses. So this was the comparison between Iftop and lsof.